In this video, I am going to tell you about one of the most important bikes to be released in 2025, the Specialized Gen 4 Levo alloy aluminum lower cost electric mountain bike. What's up everybody, FC here from E-MTB Review, and just in time for summer, the day after Memorial Day, Specialized releases two models of the Specialized Gen 4 Levo aluminum models, two models. And what's really important about this bike is that it comprises more than 50% of their sales of all Levos, at least in past years. So, you know, the S-Works and the Pros, the Carbons, they get all the glitz and glamour, but really the meat and potatoes, what people get out there, what they buy, what they can afford are the aluminum models. And there's two versions. So the S-Works, $13,500, and then it goes down to $8,000. And this guy right here, we have two aluminum models. The comp is $7,300, so $700 cheaper. But even more important, they have a low-cost version for $5,800. So $5,800 is an important number because it starts with 5. I always say, man, if you can get close to 5,000, you know, more people can afford it, and it has that new motor. You know, that motor that they developed, 101 Newton meters, and that huge battery with the nice door and replaceable battery extender. You know, 840 watt hours. So, with all that, what we're gonna do in this video is I'm gonna let you know what the differences are in weight, in components. We're gonna take it out for a ride. We'll tell you how this thing rides. You know, heavier, maybe looks a little bit different. We're gonna tell you how much thicker this down tube is compared to the S-Works, which I have here. And then finally, I'm gonna tell you how fast it is. How fast is this 101 Newton meter motor compared to the 111 of the S-Works? And I do have a way, I got my power meter pedals here to let you know exactly what is going on. So what I have here is the $7,300 model, and I'll tell you about the $5,800 model that you might be interested in as well. But what you get is the exact same bike. So same suspension kinematics, same adjustability on the headset, on the shock, and on the chainstay length is all there. And you do have that battery door right here. That nice charging mounting system that they have is really cool. You also get that water bottle case where you could put in your extender. So it's pretty much the same as your comp carbon. And you know, the Genie shock, which makes the suspension really good, and that Fox Rhythm 36. So where it differs is, instead of access, the electronic shifting, you get the transmission 90. So it's the new transmission, which is really good, but it's cable actuated. So some of you guys might prefer that because you don't have to charge your shifter battery anymore. Another difference is the tires. It has the new Specialized Butcher tires that they have. It's a new design with more siping, more grip on these guys. And you know, the Specialized Gen 4 will get these tires too, but a lot of it is older stock, original stock before these tires were released. So you get a little benefit there. For sure, you're gonna get the new tires. I weighed it, and the weight came out to 56 pounds and 13 ounces for an S3 size. The spec sheet was wrong. I think they just copied the carbon comp model, and they say that one weighs 53 pounds and 13 ounces. So I'm not sure, that's not verified, but this is definitely a 56 pounder, so it's got some heft to it. When you get to the cheaper model, it gets quite a bit of different parts. So you get a Marzokei rear shock, you get a Marzokei front fork, and then the brakes you get are the SRAM DB8. Very good brakes, and you do get the big rotors, 220. So those actually might be better for most people, because these Mavens, even the bronze, are very, very powerful. They just feel different because there's no flex to the caliper at all. And a lot of people, if they switch around bikes, you know, they have a hard time adjusting to the Mavens. So the DB8s, mineral oil as well, are quite good. Okay, so that's the bike itself. Why don't I take you guys out for a test ride, and then I'll let you know how it rides, and then come back to me, and I'll let you know about the options that you can get for this bike.
All right, let's get to some test riding. Tighten my Liat gloves right there. Get some pyro first. Notice there's no headset cap. Sorry about that. I just took it out just to see how much that thing weighs, because it has all the tools in there. And this bike has good traction on the fire roads, loose over kind of a soil. Good weight on the front, good tires. These new Butchers are good, so they'll keep you safe, you know, along with your knee pads and your long sleeves. Take it to the tightest single track I know right here. Very bumpy as well. Good shock absorption on this guy. FSR suspension and that switchback 180 degrees. Able to handle it, no problem. So very tight. You know, it's a 56-pound bike, but it handles this tight stuff good. It's all about your handling and you getting used to the bike. You throw your weight around, like boom, right there. You know, lean forward, make the rear light, and then swing that bike around. It's good. So quiet as well, no rattles, good brakes. Mavens are good. You just gotta get used to them because there's no flex in the caliper at all. And then I commute home in class 3 mode, and notice on the climbs it doesn't make a difference. You know, you're not climbing over 20 miles an hour. So that class 3, people think you're gonna zoom by people. You're not. You're climbing at 12, 13 miles an hour. So you know, it's more for commuting on roads. And right here, it's a road 3% grade, and I'm only climbing turbo mode 17.
So it rode pretty darn good. I have 2 rides on it, and I'm gonna throw this on the tightest switchbacks and see what happens. So, you know, the weight when you're moving between 53 pounds and 56 pounds, tell you the truth, it's not that easy to tell. Maybe if you jump and jib a lot, and you might notice, but really where you notice it is when you're carrying it to your rack and moving it around the garage. You know, those 3 pounds. Okay, so the options that you get on this bike, I would say, is the if you want to make the options you get on this bike, I would say, is if you want to make your bike lighter, you can get that 600 watt-hour battery instead of this 840 watt-hour, and then you can also get the extender. So the extender is it will save you about 6 pounds on this bike. So before I close, I'll get you some speed testing. You get to hear the sound of the motor too. This thing actually sounded more quiet than the carbon. I'm not sure exactly why, but you'll hear. I'll do a side-by-side comparison. I'll do a virtual race between the 111 newton meters and 101 newton meters.
Here is the speed test, full turbo mode.
All right.
Power meter pedal, same rider, same effort. And you get to hear the sound of the motor right here. So not bad. It's fairly quiet, and the result is 4 minutes and 28 seconds to climb the 500 feet, 1 mile. And for comparison purposes, the S-Works with 111 is 4 minutes and 12 seconds, or Beowald CX5 Bosch 4 minutes 50, and the Gen 3 Levo is 4 minutes 48 seconds.
Pros and cons. So let's start with the cons first. You know, the first con is the weight, of course, and then the second con is the girth of the down tube. You know, it's something to get used to, and I think if you first look, goes, man, this thing is bigger than the S-Works, but really it's only 3 millimeters bigger on the girth, and I'll have some exact measurements for you guys on that. So it's not a huge difference. It just looks bigger because there's not as much, you know, maybe contouring and polish, you know, with this flat finish. On the pro side, you know, like I said, you get the adjustability. You can make this a downhill bike pretty much if you want. You get the battery ecosystem, 840, 600, 280, watt-hour extender, so you get a lot of options. You can get a fast charger if you need it. So everything that the S-Works and that Carbon family has, the alloy versions down to $5,800 really kind of benefits from it. So there you go. For something that is going to be such a hot seller, an important bike, I think Specialized has done a good job with it. All right. Links in the description if you want to purchase any of the accessories or even the bikes themselves. Pick it up from your local dealer. Click on the links and it will help our channel out. Thanks a ton.